there's the talents, and you can adjust these to your preference, but the macros are set up for these talents. So if you change your talents, you would need to change the macros potentially. Just depends. There are things in somewhere around here that I might have taken had I had spare points, but there were other places I wanted to put the points, so I wasn't able to. But it basically works out. Yeah, it's basically set up for a single target and works pretty good. So you can just import that with the code you can get from the description. Look at my macros here. Alright, that's my primary attack macro. It's imperfect, but the damage you do should be okay with it. It forces you to be in Moonkin form if you're not already. Casts a sequence here. Moonfire, Sunfire, Wrath, 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 Wrath. And it's just building up astral power with that. So the extra Wraths are so that you don't do too many Moonfires and Sunfires in that sequence. If you change target or you don't press the button for 5 seconds, it resets back to the start. That's my primary attack macro. Let's look at my secondary attack macro. This one consumes the astral power that you generated with the first one. So, again, forces you to be in Moonkin form. It's basically just doing Star Surge. You could potentially do other stuff, but Star Surge consumes the astral power. So one button, generate astral power. Second button, consume it. Simple. I'll join that in a moment. Next, we look at the, where is it? Damage boost. Damage boost macro. With this one, again, force Moonkin form. But it's casting a longer sequence here of various spells. Water of a Loon, Starfire, 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 Star Surge, Astral Communion, Incarnation, Star Surge. Those Star Surges are just using up astral power so you don't cap it. Warrior Balloon gives you 3 instant Starfires. So I was just using up these bigger damage spells, and they're in sequence of their cooldown. Mighty Bash is the main spell just because I've got this damage boost sequence on the alt modifier, just so that I don't accidentally hit that by mistake. The secondary and primary macros, they also have on the alt modifier shift and control other spells that you can do individually. Let's just use this training dummy. So we want to generate astral power. I've already got 60, so ideally it'd be 0. But let's generate astral power with the first macro. There we go, see? Astral power goes up. It's literally done Moonfire, Sunfire, Wrath. And I'll just keep doing Wrath a few more times. So we've generated almost maximum. There, maximum astral power. Now the second macro. We'll use the astral power. And it's just a convenient, easy to remember setup. This was originally created for my feral druid, these macros, which at the time was a bit more complicated. There was a bit more to the generate energy and consume energy aspect, but it still works well on balanced druid and probably could work well on any character. So the macros that you can copy, you can use that on any character and just swap in the different spells that are relevant. Let's do the big damage boost one then. Let's see. Went through that sequence there. And the nice thing is you've got some astral power left over. So that can be a good finisher. And it's in sequence of cooldown, so quite often you'll at least have something to use in that damage boost, even if your bigger stuff is still on cooldown. But yeah, generate astral power. It doesn't really take into account other stuff like lining things up. It's really just very simple. And you could potentially adjust that to your liking. You could make it a bit more sophisticated if you want. So yeah, that's not going to be perfect, but it works a lot of the time, especially when you're just in a team fight and just want to blast away. You might think, well, you shouldn't really be doing this, and you might have a point. You could do the spells individually, and maybe you'll do more damage. But it still does some decent damage. But it's all easier. It's easy mode. You can give it a try. If you don't like it, don't use it. If you like it, go ahead and use it. I like it. I've been using it for quite a while. In here, I've got a bunch of add-ons. Good stuff like battleground enemies, HHTD, but Wise PvP, Reflex is a nice add-on. You can check those out. This is not really about those add-ons, so I'll show you my own add-ons. For the Balanced Druid, Hide NPC. It's a nice add-on to have. It hides NPCs in your minimap. So when you're in cat form there's no NPCs on there. I untick that there, and now there's NPCs in the minimap. Why do you want that? Because when you're in a battleground or doing world PvP and you're hunting players, you do not want to see NPCs on that minimap. You want to see the players only. Otherwise it's just a mess if you have NPCs on there. And you can switch it on and off for various situations. But I guess my main add-on is Top Target. This is the one that gets the most downloads. It's almost 50,000 at the time of writing, so it's doing pretty good. All of my other add-ons get a fraction of that, but I think this was my first one, and it's the one that really sort of clicked with people, the usefulness of it. You just know at a glance it's going to be useful to you if you want that sort of thing. So Top Target puts a red box on the most targeted player, enemy player. So you can just quickly at a glance target that and destroy it. Battleground enemies does a similar thing. You can see which enemy is being targeted the most. But I use that. But I just like it being on the nameplate. It's really nice having it on the nameplate. And you get various settings here. You can switch it on and off for different situations. You can enable or disable the various icons in the nameplates. You can change the size, the opacity. This V offset, I need to put tooltips on here at some point, but V offset will move the icon up or down. So a minus number will move it down, positive up. I'm not sure now, one of the two. Basically zeros in the middle. So yeah, you could give that a go. Pop Combat is a similar add-on. It's got a small fraction, 10% maybe, downloads of top target, but I find it useful. And it's doing a similar thing to top target, but it's putting icons on nameplates, friendly and enemy, to show who's got the highest DPS, who's doing the highest damage, most interrupts and dispels. Also, who's taking the highest incoming damage, highest incoming DPS, most incoming hits, most targeted by the highest group DPS. Various options you can enable or disable there. I find that nice to just be able to, at a glance, who around me on their nameplate is taking the most hits. Again, it's got the offset. You can change, well, they all look pretty much the same, but there's different styles of the icon, size, opacity. Vantage. That may be slightly less useful to most people, but for me, I like having a frame that shows up down here beside the inner frame. You can move it around. Shows the healer, tank, DPS, health, just as a color, green, yellow, red, depending on how damaged they are. Green is good. And also the number of healers nearby, the number of DPS nearby. Again, Battleground Enemies already does that sort of thing, but I like just at a glance being able to see it. It also tells you if your healers are low in mana on average, and if you're basically pretty in trouble. Basically, there's basically a danger warning. Little brackets around it. You'll see that in my videos. All my videos have this frame down here. And you can have sound alerts to tell you if you've got no healer nearby, or the healer's health is getting low, DPS health getting low, or no DPS, that sort of thing. Like, for example, it does tell you for tank, that may not be relevant to you, just uncheck it. And there's various voices you can choose from there. And the same settings as my other add-ons for size, opacity, that sort of thing, and the situations. War Coat is this killing blow frame at the bottom right here. You can get a killing blow, that number goes up. Below that number are challenges you can complete. The left-hand one is for highest kill streak. And highest, it's 36 out of 50 at the minute for a 50 kills challenge there. And this number here, that's little points that you get for every kill. This X lights up when you get a killing blow. And you can go to an X on your map. When you land on it, it will sacrifice this number here. And you will get some progression on your cult level. So you start level 0, and you go up the levels, you get ranks for it. So it's just a little killing blow mini game. Similar sense to my other add-ons for size, opacity, that sort of thing. There's audio with it, but you can turn off. It's off by default. So my last add-on, my 6th add-on, is King Dam. Again, it shows a little frame. I've got mine above here, but you can move it around. And it's a damage meter for just showing the percentage of damage you're doing relative to the top damager, not including yourself. And again, it's just a little mini game. It's got various options there, as all the others do. This add-on does not get much love, much downloads, but maybe you'll give it a try. It's just a little bit of fun. Give it a go.